We just wanted to show you real quick what was created, and we are not gonna then overcomplicate it. But basically here we have the five of those, and then one mother of the nesting of workflows, like the one mom that's holding all these nested workflows. So if I would just go inside of it, here you can see that we have the start node, which is followed by the workflow being used to nest it to create a ticket, which is followed by a CP diagnostics, another workflow that is followed by a run OS one. We are composing those two outputs, which are coming from somewhere else. We will get to it. We are then trying to add a comment, which is not working because of the JSON or what we mentioned at the beginning. And then we have the composition, check completed the result, and connecting it with a slide. So you can see that we are in this workflow, in this month workflow, we are using the nesting, as was the original idea of the functionality of the feature. Yeah. And we can maybe even try to run it. But before that, just for your understanding, each result or each output of a workflow that we would like to use in the one main nesting workflow, we need to have an output node, which will basically be the output that we can then further use in the main one. So the hosting workflow will use then these outputs from all of those workflows that you've prepared, whatever you've done with them, with the composition, you probably are familiar with that, right? Then you can use them inside of the one host, the hosting one. As such, you can see CP output is here being used in this composition, which is coming from as a formatted output from the workflow itself. Alexei also added the run button here. Yeah, so we don't have to leave this view. We can just, stay here. We don't have to do anything. And also, you probably noticed, maybe not, but there's a interactive linking. Yeah, just for your information, you can see. Because Alexei, when he was working with it, and even others, when they were working in it, it's quite confusing what you want to connect it with, right? Because from a drop down, you can have like over 30, 40, whatever outputs, right, from nodes if you are combining these things. So this is much better. You know where you are, you know what this can be linked to, right? So this is just like that. So this is the hosting workflow. As usual, you are probably familiar with that. We will be just sending out an email, and it's similar to everything as you are creating the workflows. You can probably notice also the icons, which is also part of the release, part of the nesting of workflows. Yeah. And here, now that we are waiting for this workflow to finish, there's also one more thing which will probably be useful for you, even for your demos, for your whatever showcases we plan to do, videos. We also have here like the hosting workflow where we are currently like a path. So we don't have to go back, scroll back, go to jobs, we can just click back on this and we will be on the hosting workflow itself. Yeah. Similar to everything, whenever you trigger a workflow, you can see the result of the execution here in the steps and in the jobs table. Yeah. You can see here we also have an output node, which then we are using in the one hosting workflow. And now that we are, what we are actually doing this here, the hosting workflow, we are trying to create a ticket, Jira ticket. Then we are trying to get information from our devices, assets, CPs, whatever. And then we are putting it all into with the composition to an output, right? Like the serial number is, the firmware version is, or the interfaces are. Even as Alexei said, maybe it could be interesting for someone to measure their gigs, right, of the interfaces. So then we would like to use this result, and do something with it, maybe. Next step, fourth one in this case, is the nested run OS. You already know run OS modules, right? And here we are checking for the distribution itself. Yeah, we are also checking which packages we would like to update with like a bash ones, right? And then we are composing it. Here, we are trying to add a comment to that issue. Yeah, so the result should be that the ticket will be created. We will run the diagnostics or gather the information, whatever, and we will add the comment to the issue, yeah, automatically. So in case somebody will get a notification that a ticket has been created, he can then just go to Jira, check the information. Okay, these packages are outdated, and then he can maybe trigger a different workflow or patch their systems, however you want to call it. And the last step in this is connecting DNA with Slack. So you will get a notification to Slack, which was Johannes actually came up with this, right? With the webhooks and stuff. But just so you know that it works, you will see a notification in Slack.